Hi everybody, this is Alexander, a yoga teacher at Buddha Balance in Groningen. Today we're going to practice a gentle yoga class together, focusing a little bit on everything. Basically, we're going to do some hip openers, a little bit of back bend, a little bit of forward bend to work on spine flexibility as well. And take a moment also to work a little bit onto the shoulders. So just take your time in the poses. We're going to stay for a while in all the poses. That's the principle of Yin Yoga. So just take your time, enjoy the class and focus on your breathing. So first, you're going to start lying down on your mat. So you can just lie flat with your feet about mat distance apart. You bring your arms alongside your body. Your hand palms are facing up. Head is on the mat. You can close your eyes and just take a moment here. A moment for yourself to relax, to calm down, to enjoy a moment where you don't have to do anything. Take this time for yourself. Emptying your head, letting go of all your thoughts. Forget everything that happened yesterday. Forget about tomorrow and all your plans. You are right here, right now, on your yoga mat, for your yoga moment. You take a moment to just connect with your body, aware of your physical body. You notice where you hold the most tension at this moment. And also observe where you are already a bit more relaxed, where you can experience more softness. And notice the contact between your body and your mat. Feel the back of your heels, calves, hips. Feeling the back of your hands, your elbows, shoulders. Feel the back of your head also. And see if you can relax a little deeper into this nice shavasana. See if you can let go a bit more and make your body a little heavier to get more support from your mat. Now you bring your focus inwards, focusing on your breath, without any control, without trying to change anything. You just feel the air passing through your nose and your throat. Observing the subtle movements of your belly and chest, rising as you inhale and gently collapsing as you exhale. You take a moment here just to breathe, to observe. Create this connection between your mind and your body. Take a moment to land, just enjoy. And from your shavasana, we're going to start with the first pose of today. So you roll onto your right side and you come on your hands and knees. The first pose of today is Anahat Asana, the Heart-Rending Pose. So you start with your hands on the front corners of your mat and then you walk with your knees further and further back until you can place your forehead on the mat. So, for some people this pose is not the easiest, not the most comfortable, especially if you have tight shoulders. So what you can do to modify here is to maybe place your hands a little wider, maybe going outside of the mat. Maybe, if it's still not good enough for you, you can bring your hips a little further back, a little closer to your heels. So you don't have to hang from so high. See how it goes. And if you have some props at your disposition, maybe you can place a blanket under your knees to make a little bit of a softer underground under your knees. And also you could try to have a block under your forehead. See for yourself what helps. So you want to be comfortable in this pose, we're going to stay here for 5 minutes together. So just take your time, breathing and releasing, letting go of the tension that you might feel. So here you notice the effects of this pose on your body. Feel the sensations in your shoulders here. Maybe quite some compression happening between your shoulder blades as well into your upper back. You're just observing your breath, keeping it calm and steady, but without forcing anything. There is no control here. It's really about observing and feeling. Bring your awareness a little deeper, a little closer into your body. Notice this gentle back bend, the compression in the back of your spine between the vertebrae there. And at the same time, notice the stretch in the front of your belly and the front of your chest. All these muscles getting a nice gentle stretch here. You just focus on your breath, letting your thoughts come and go without being attached to them. Just see how it goes here, how long you can hold your focus with your body, with your breath. We're already halfway through, 2.5 more minutes to go. See for yourself how it goes in this pose. How do you experience the stretch here? If you feel that the stretch is getting a bit too soft because your body is getting a little warm, maybe you can push yourself a little deeper. Actually, don't push yourself, but release and let go a little bit more. So for more challenge, maybe you want to place your chin on the mat to see if that helps a little bit more sensations here. On the other hand, if you feel that the stretch is becoming a bit too intense for you, you can always decide to have your hips a little closer to your heels. Just make sure you don't force anything, make sure you don't hurt yourself here. And just notice the movements of your breath. This is where you also really want to keep your focus. Just be present in this very moment. We got 1 more minute to go together. If you're somebody with a tight upper back, and I know lots of us are, this is really a fantastic pose to really activate into the muscles between your shoulder blades, to really open a little bit more into your chest and therefore create a bit more space for your breath. Just relax for the last 15 seconds here. From here, as you inhale, you very slowly really take your time and be careful here to just get out of the pose, coming on your hands and knees. You may want to take a moment with your spine straight. Maybe you feel like moving a little bit, left to right, right to left. Maybe gently arching and rounding your spine without forcing you. You just do this micro movement to see how it goes, to let the energy pass by again, just to flow through your body. And keeping your spine straight for a moment, just to observe. Feel the effect of this first pose. How do you feel now throughout your spine? How are your shoulders doing here, your neck? Alright, moving on to our next pose, child's pose. So here you bring your knees closer together. You place your hips on your heels. And you bring your forehead on the mat with your arms alongside your body. So child's pose is a nice relaxing pose. Maybe not for everybody. If you have issues in child's pose, you could modify a little bit. Maybe you feel pressure on your ankles, you can always place a blanket or a towel or anything that's soft under your lower legs to prevent your ankles pushing too much on your mat. You can also try maybe with the block under your forehead. Some people have trouble breathing in child's pose. This is a good way to keep your nose free and be able to breathe properly. If child's pose is really not your thing, that nothing of this option works for you, you can also always just sit on your mat, hug your knees, and place your forehead on your knees to get this nice rounding throughout your spine. So find your option, make sure you're comfortable, but also stay for a moment here. So just breathe, relax, and let go of everything. So you may notice now that child's pose is actually a nice counter pose for Anahata-san. If you observe carefully, you will notice that where you had the stretch in the shoulders and the compression in your upper back, now your shoulders are sinking towards the mat, actually creating stretch between your shoulder blades. And where your spine was arching, now it is round. So just take a moment here to observe, to land into your child's pose here. And in Yin Yoga, there's no really rules about alignment or anything like this, but of course you want to be in a pose that's quite comfortable for you. If you cannot have your hips on your heels, then you could also roll a blanket, for example, or again just a sweater, or place a cushion maybe just somewhere between your upper legs and your lower legs, so you get this support and your hips are not hanging in the air. About 2 minutes in the pose now. Just stay here a little longer. Child's pose can be such a nice restorative pose. It's a nice way to gently stretch into the quads as well, into the glutes. Opening a little bit more into your lower back. Working on the flexibility of your spine as well as relaxing and breathing. your time here to just still be very present, to observe your body. You notice this contact with your mat here. Your feet, your knees, your hands, lower arms, your forehead. Just observe this contact. See if you can make your body a little heavier every time you exhale. And really be aware of the support that you get from your mat underneath your body. Take another 30 seconds here. Just relax, release. Feel the movements of your breath into your body. Just be present. And as you inhale, you slowly start to find your way back to your hands and knees. And then you gently come sit on your mat. Our next pose is the caterpillar, known as the forward fold as well. So you start with your legs straight at the front of your mat and make sure you're sitting straight up on your sitting bone. If you have the tendency to have a bit of a round lower back here to sit more on your tailbone, I would advise you to grab a blanket or whatever you use for support here and just sit on it. When you go a little higher, it helps keeping this neutrality in your lower back, which is what you want to achieve here. If you feel already quite a lot of stretch in the back of your legs when you have your legs straight here, well, it is the goal to stretch into these tight parts in the back of the legs. But really, if you feel some pain in the back of your knees, I would advise you to keep your knees slightly bent, maybe place something under it. In yoga, we use a bolster. If you don't have this at home, maybe you just grab a cushion or a rolled blanket, whatever that can give you some support and release a little bit into this tight hamstrings here. And from here, you're just going to roll forward, but bending from your hips first. So when you move into forward folds, it's not about bringing your knee or your nose to your knees, absolutely. It's about, first of all, trying to get your belly towards your thighs, to keep this length and neutrality into your lower back to stay safe here, protect your body. And then, slowly, you find where you can hang on for 5 minutes here. So make sure you don't go too deep right away. Just stay like about 75-80% of what you feel you could do. Maybe if you have a bolster or a cushion, you could use it, place it on your hands and maybe even support your head here, or just lean over with your forehead on your arms or the bolster. Make sure you find a way that is comfortable for you. We're already almost for a half a minute in this pose. We'll take another 4.5 minutes just relaxing here. Because we hold these poses so long, big chance that you get disturbed or distracted very often. Maybe some sounds in your house, some light, maybe, and most certainly your thoughts. So that's the thing, your mind from nature doesn't want to be quiet. It starts to send you signals, thoughts, and your imaginations, memories, whatever. You just keep your head busy with your mind. Here, it's not about stopping the flow of your thoughts. This would ask a lot of control, which is not what the Yin class is about. But you gently observe the movements in your mind, and every time you feel that you are distracted, that you're not here in this very moment, you just consciously and softly bring your awareness back to the way you're breathing, back to the stretch that you feel into your body. And you're just still observing your breath, observing the stretch. Maybe you feel that your body is getting nice and warm here, that you can go a little deeper, but you never do that with pushing or pulling. But if your body is ready, it will tell you it. And then you can just relax a little bit more and let go. Maybe you get a little deeper. We have 2.5 minutes left in this pose, but still make sure you stay at about 80%. Observe here. There's a thing in our daily life, all what we have to do, all the goals we seem to have to achieve, and hardly finding a moment to relax and calm down. Well, you're watching this video, this is the moment, so you just let go here, relax. There's nothing you have to do, you're just in your pose, you don't need to achieve anything. You just breathe, relax, and see where it takes you. Got about a minute left in this pose. Just take your time here, really enjoy. Relax this moment. It is your moment, really. Take a moment to check in with your body, with your mind. Are you still present? Still observing your breath? Just focus a little bit more, a little deeper, last 20 seconds. You take a last deep breath here. And as you inhale, you slowly come up again. Taking your time here, slowly. Take a moment, maybe you want to shake your legs a little bit. Lean back on your hands. Take a moment here, just observe. Feel the effects of this pose, what we did so far. Notice the energy flowing through your body. If you don't feel anything, don't worry about it. Just enjoy this moment, rest and relax. Alright. From here you come sit sideways on your mat. So, moving to one of my favorite poses, the half butterfly. So, you're standing into this gentle struggle. So, if you can go full split, don't do that. We're going to stay here for a moment as well. Again, keep this in mind, just 80% of what you can do is really more than enough for today. So, it can be that you are still rounding in your spine here and slouching back. Then maybe you sit on your blanket to keep your spine straight. And if you have very tight hamstrings, you probably feel a lot of pull happening here, maybe also on the inside of your knee. What you could do is keep your knees slightly bent, or grab blocks or blankets, cushions, whatever you can use from home, and place it under your knees to just soften into the hamstrings. So we're going to start for the half butterfly with bending the right leg. You bring your right heel as close as you can to your groin and you take a moment here. See how it goes, and if you need to, you can also just place a block under your knee to prevent too much tension in your hip. And then from here, you lengthen a little bit more into your spine and you twist to the left side. With the hands on each side of your leg, you start to walk forward with your hands, and maybe you will find that it's good enough to be here for you today, and then you just take a moment. So you don't need to push or pull anything. Remember, it's all about the softness that you can bring here. And you take this time for yourself just to breathe and relax. We're going to be for 3 minutes on this side. Just an easy stretch. You really don't have to go too deep. If you feel that you need a bit more support, you could use your blocks or stack of books or anything that's a bit steady and a bit hard that you can lean on for a moment. If you have a bolster, you can make it as comfortable as you want, just leaning and opening a little bit more into your pose. Just take your time, notice what will be the best for you right now, and enjoy for a moment. So there is quite a lot happening in this pose. Probably you feel it quite a bit in the back of your left leg, and that's good, that's what we're trying to do. Also probably a little bit more into the inside of your right hip here, the groin, and probably the QLs are being pulled a little bit. If you have a stiff lower back, this is a nice way to gently lengthen and soften into the muscles. Again, make sure you don't go too far. 80% is really more than enough, because we hold the poses so long, you really don't need to go too deep, you don't need to push too hard, just relax and enjoy this moment for yourself. About a bit more than 2 minutes into this pose. See for yourself, maybe your body is feeling nice and warm and you can get a little deeper without pushing anything. Remember, softness, gentleness. Focusing on your breath, letting your thoughts pass by. Don't get attached to your foot, you just let them go. It's 20 seconds. And last breath here. As you inhale, you slowly start to roll back. Extend your right leg again. Maybe give it a little shake. And we just move to the other side right away together. So bring your left heel in. So modify as you need here. Maybe you notice that your left hip is a bit tighter than the right. You can always place a block or something under your knee. Keep something under your right knee if you really feel pain in the inner knee here. Just make sure you modify as you need according to your body. With a long spine, you turn to the right side. You start to walk forward. See how far you go. And it's easier to start easy down too hard, because then you can modify and go a little deeper. 3 minutes or so on the side. Easy stretch, not forcing anything. When we do poses on both sides like this, it's always interesting to notice and the difference between left and right. We tend to think that our body is perfectly symmetrical, but it's actually far from it. We have one dominant side, which we use more often, where the muscles are a little bit more developed and therefore a little bit less flexible as well. And another side that is then, let's not call it weaker, but more flexible, just a bit more softness. Observe for yourself. Is left or right the strongest, the most flexible side? And as much as you want to stay still in a yin pose, you also don't want to lose the edge. If the stretch that you felt at the beginning starts to really fade away and that you don't feel anymore, that it's too soft, you just allow your body to relax more and get a little deeper into the pose. Otherwise, it's a little bit sitting there not doing so much, but we of course are working deep in our body to get a bit more flexibility here. So keep the stretch and just loosen up, breathe and see where it takes you really. A bit less than a minute left. On the other hand, of course, if the stretch that you feel is becoming too much, if you start to really experience lots of tension, don't hesitate. Take a step back. You don't want to hang in a place that is painful or that you really have trouble breathing. You want to stay soft and gentle. You want to be able to relax. Take a nice breath here. And as you inhale, you slowly, gently come back up. From here, you come on your hands and knees. Take your time. You always move very slowly, deliberately. Take a moment to see how it goes with your back. Maybe moving a little bit sideways, maybe arching, rounding your spine. Just to what feels right, really. It's your body. Just listen to what your body is telling you. Alright. Keep your spine straight for a moment. We're now moving to the dragon. So what you're going to do now is place your right foot on the outside of your right hand. And maybe you're going to bring your left foot further and further back. But make sure to try to keep your right knee just above your right ankle to prevent too much tension. If you have a blanket or something soft, you can use it to place it under your left knee here, just for some nice support, a bit more softness into your underground. If you have issues with your wrists, elbows or shoulders here, that it's not comfortable to lean on your hands like this, you can maybe grab your blocks or just something to elevate and maybe place your elbows on your blocks here. This is a nice, comfortable pose. That's where I'm going to hold it, but make sure you find your pose here. We go for 3 minutes on this side as well. This is a funny pose because depending where you are the most tight, where you hold the most tension in your body, you're going to feel it maybe more in the front of your left thigh or more into the inner right hip here. It really depends on where you are the tightest. You know, in the end, a yoga teacher, I can tell you where I feel the stretch for sure. I can tell you where you are supposed to feel the stretch. There are enough books describing this. But eventually, where you hold the most tension, where you are the tightest, this is really where you're going to feel the stretch into the pose. So just take a moment, listen to your body, take this inner journey for yourself. The thing also with the Yin Yoga, you don't want to hurt yourself, you don't want to feel tension, you do want to breathe properly, softly, but the stretch that you feel doesn't have to be all that nice, you know. It can be a little bit annoying, like, oh, what a nagging stretch, I don't really like it, but as long as you feel like this, and that you can still breathe properly, you're really going to get loads of benefits from the pose that you are doing. So wherever you are, just breathe, hold it. We got one more minute to go on this side. Really nothing for you to do here. Just listen. Listen to your body, the sensations of the stretch. Listen to your breath. Just see how it goes here. Take a last breath, and then with an inhale, you slowly, carefully come back up, bring your knees back, and I suppose we can go right away to the other side. So here you gently bring your left foot to the outside of your left hand, letting your hips sink a little bit, again. Really observe how it goes on this side. Maybe you need a totally different option on this side. That is okay. Accept this difference within yourself. Work with your body and not against it. Maybe bringing your right foot further back, hanging a little bit here. Take your time. We also go for 3 minutes. So modify as you need. Place your hands on the mat, elbows on blocks. Maybe you will find a different option for yourself that is good, you know. Just experience, play around a little bit with the pose and what you can use for support. It's time to breathe. Bring your focus inwards. You know, it's something that we actually don't spend enough time doing. We are so busy with everything that happens around us, outside of us, that we forget how important it is to connect with the space within yourself, which is your space in the end. So now, you're here in this class and you just take this time for yourself, focusing inwards, observing all the sensations and bringing more softness. And notice on this side, is your left hip a little softer than the right? Or do you experience now more stiffness? It's a little bit harder to get into the pose. That's okay. No matter what your option is, you just still go to your 80%. You find this edge and you stay right behind that edge. Just breathe. Just release the tension every time you exhale. You enjoy your moment here. Couple more breath here. Keep your focus here and now with your body. And for a last deep breath. And then gently come back on your hands and see how it goes here. Moving your hips a little bit, your arms, shoulders, relax. And then you take a moment, just breathing. Maybe you want to be in child's pose here. It must be pretty nice, having your knees together after this hip opener with the dragons. And you just relax for a moment here. Don't stay too long. Just a moment for yourself to observe the effects of the poses we did so far. With an inhale, you slowly come back on your hands and knees. And then you come lie flat on your stomach. We're moving to the Sphinx. So your feet and legs are relaxed here. You have your elbows under your shoulders. You take a moment to observe the compression in your lower back here. If this is too much for you, too intense to start with, you can have your hands further to the front, so you don't have to hang so high. You can also use a bolster or a cushion, whatever you have that's soft and a little bit elevated, and then you place this under your chest. And if you feel that you need more stretch, then you can place it a little closer to your hips. So you're going to be a little bit higher. If you bring more to the front, you're going to be less high and have a moment to enjoy. So see for yourself what you need here, and then 2 minutes into this stretch compression. And then you just breathe and relax. It's very important to feel the compression into your lower back here, but it's as important to make sure that you don't go too far. If you feel that it's too deep, too intense, really take a step back, and if nothing helps for you, maybe you just get out of the pose for a moment, but really just observe. Usually we tend to avoid compression in this area in the lower back, but it's actually very beneficial to feel compression like this. This helps activating into your body, into your lower back, and helps keep your lower back healthy and mobile. The thing is that when there is never compression there, nothing happens into your lower back. The vertebra at your lower back, the sacral, is already fused, but also the lower lumbar vertebra may fuse together if you never put any pressure or stress into your lower back. So this is a good pose to get a little bit more mobility and flexibility also to your lower back. Got a few more seconds to go here, so maybe if you want to add on, you can stay here, but you can also start to extend your arms and move from the Sphinx to the seal. If you feel that you have the space for it, you bring your hands a little closer, and we'll take another, let's say, 20 seconds maybe here. Be careful with your lower back. Make sure you keep this 80% guideline for yourself. Take a last breath. And exhale, slowly, gently roll onto your mat. For me, you bring your big toes together and let your heels roll outwards. Arms alongside your body. With lying down on one cheek here, just take a moment in this pose, Makara Asana. This is a nice restorative pose also. You can just feel your lower back, where you have this nice compression happening. Now there is a little bit of a stretch, you feel some space, you can relax. It's a nice pose to rest, to heal, to recover. And as you inhale, you slowly come back on your hands and knees. Take your time. We have one last pose to do together today. So we're going to add a little twist to everything we did so far. Now you just roll on your back, bring your knees to your chest. You open your arms wide and try to keep your elbows a little lower than your shoulders. And you inhale. And as you exhale, you slowly bring your knees to the right. See how it goes? You don't need to force or push anything. If you feel your knees are hanging, that you get tension in your back, you could grab a block or anything you use for support to place under your right leg. And if you feel your left shoulder is lifting off the mat, you could place your blanket under your shoulder here, also for some support and some softness. So see for yourself what you need, how it goes. But just take a moment here, not too long, just to counter the effects of everything we did. So not to counter per se, but to bring some neutrality back into our spine. And you can play around and adjust the height of your knees. If you have your knees a little closer to your chest, you can observe what happens in your back. If you have them a little more towards the front of your mat, see how the stretch moves. So it may be that you need it more into your lower back or in your upper back, and then you can decide by having your knees where you need to. Just take this time to breathe, to relax. you're already a little bit more flexible, maybe you can use your left hand to also ground your right hand, to ground your left knee. But make sure you don't go too far. Keep it at this magical 80% here, just finding a nice stretch, maybe not too nice, but where you can still breathe gently and properly. Right, as you inhale, gently bring your knees to the middle. Exhale, press your knees on the mat, maybe bring your arms alongside your body again. Just take a moment here with your spine in neutral, relaxing, observing the sensations, the difference between left and right. If you're ready for it, you can bring your knees to your chest, open your arms a little wider again. If you do not feel for it, maybe you just pause this video and take a moment. And from here, gently bring your knees to the left. See how it goes on this side. Maybe using something under your right shoulder, under your left knee, something between your knees. Maybe you notice that this side is way easier. Maybe you feel a little tighter. That's okay too, you know. It's all about this awareness. If you feel tighter, you don't need to push harder. You create more gentleness, more softness by breathing. And if you feel that this side goes easier, then you release a little bit more. Maybe you feel that you can go deeper. That's okay too. Stay with your breath. Every time you inhale, you let your belly expand consciously. And when you exhale, you release a little bit more, softening. It's 20 seconds of the class here, just breathing. Relaxing more, enjoying. As breath. And as you inhale, bring your knees to the middle. Exhale, extend your legs, come back into this Shavasana here, taking a moment to relax. And maybe if you have some cushion or a bolster, you could also place it under your knees here to just relax a little deeper. And you take this time for yourself, letting go of everything. No more stretch here, no more length. Just let your body become heavy. Focus on your breath. Feel the space as you inhale. And every time you exhale, just let go of all the last tiny bits of tension that you still might feel to your body. You take this time for yourself. Maybe you stay another 5 or 10 minutes into Shavasana. just relaxing here. In the meantime, let me thank you for following this class today. I hope you enjoyed it, that you could land here, connect with your body, calm down a little bit into your mind. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you again. Namaste.